Today we're going to be taking a look at Coach Dan Gordon's What to Say When They Say I Can't Afford It. And this one is, it's pretty interesting because I think on the surface, you might think, oh, this is just about sales tactics, right?
Right.
But he takes us way beyond closing deals and into some serious personal development territory here.
I mean, it's fascinating how he doesn't just offer scripts to overcome objections. He really digs into the psychology behind how and why we make our financial decisions.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, an intense exploration of how you show up in life, business, and relationships, and how they're all connected in the infinite thread that is you. So let's get into the dive. Here's your hosts, Marcus and Nara.
Hi there, Deep Divers. I'm Nara Daniels.
And I'm Marcus Harrison.
Let's dive in.
Today we're going to be taking a look at what to say when they say I can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it made me think about that phrase.
Yeah.
We've all heard it growing up. We can't afford that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've heard that so many times.
And it seems harmless enough, when you think about it on the surface. But think about the message that sends to a child. You're instilling this idea that money is limited, that there's never enough to go around. And I just can't help but think that those early experiences really have a profound impact on how we view money as adults.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It plants that seed that money is scarce, right? And that can really stick with you and impact, how you approach finances and spending and all that.
Yeah. It's almost like we're programmed to say, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
Even when it might not be entirely true.
Yeah. You just kind of automatically say it without even thinking. And it really is a lot of the time about that scarcity mentality becoming so ingrained,
Right.
It's just an automatic response, even when, logically your financial situation might be totally different.
So how does this scarcity mentality actually show up in our lives? Let's unpack that a little bit.
Well, it often shows up as fear, right? Plain and simple fear. Fear of loss. Fear of making the wrong decision, fear of, not having enough. And here's what I thought was interesting. It's not just for people who are struggling financially, right?
Right.
He uses the example of a CEO, somebody at the top of their game, right? And they still might say, I can't afford it.
Oh.
It's not about an actual lack of funds. It's about the emotional discomfort that spending triggers for them.
That is such a powerful example because it really highlights how deeply ingrained these beliefs can be.
It really is.
Yeah. And saying no, especially when it comes to spending money, can actually provide a sense of relief in the moment.
It's true. Yeah. In the moment, it feels safe, right? You're in control and you're protecting yourself from, potential loss or discomfort. But that short-term relief, it comes at a long-term cost.
And that cost is being trapped in that scarcity mindset, right? Because if you're constantly saying no, it reinforces this idea that there's just not enough to go around, and it prevents you from even considering the possibilities, right?
Absolutely. You're just shutting down opportunities before they can even present themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we break free from this cycle? What's the alternative to this no reflex?
Well, to move from affordability to possibility. So instead of automatically assuming something is out of reach, you start asking yourself, how can I make this happen?
Yeah.
It's about reframing the conversation both internally with yourself and then also with other people.
That really resonates with me. It reminds me of how parents can really influence their children's money mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if instead of saying, we can't afford that,
Yeah.
parents said, okay, you want that? Let's figure out how to make the money to get it.
Right.
That's empowering.
That changes everything.
It does. It shifts the focus from limitation to creation. And it teaches kids that money is something that they can generate.
Right. It's not just this magical thing that appears or disappears.
Exactly. It's about planting the seeds of possibility and resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Showing them that they have the power to achieve their desires.
Yeah. And that mindset shift can really ripple throughout their lives, It allows them to approach challenges with a sense of agency rather than just feeling defeated from the start.
Absolutely.
It's about, challenging those old beliefs, those ingrained beliefs, and showing them that they really do have more control over their financial situation than they might realize.
Now, I know some people might be thinking, well, what if my clients genuinely can't afford my services? Am I supposed to pressure them into it?
Right. And that's a valid concern. And this isn't about manipulation. It's about empowerment.
So how do we walk that fine line? How do we encourage clients to explore those possibilities without pushing them beyond their comfort zone?
Well, I think it starts by creating a safe space for open and honest conversations. You know, we really need to listen to our clients, understand their concerns and fears, and acknowledge that, their feelings are valid.
It's about building that trust,
Yeah.
right? Showing them that we genuinely care about their well-being and that this isn't just about making a sale.
Yeah, exactly. And once that trust is established, then you can start to gently challenge those limiting beliefs. You can ask thought-provoking questions like, what if money wasn't an issue? What would you be able to achieve?
Oh, I love that approach because it really shifts the focus away from the perceived obstacle and onto the desired outcome, right?
Exactly.
It's about opening up that world of possibilities that they might not have even considered.
And that's where Gordon's concept of certainty comes in. He observes that a lot of people crave certainty before making any financial decisions.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable, right?
Yeah.
We all want to avoid risk and feel secure in our choices.
Of course. But he suggests that yearning for absolute certainty, that can actually hold us back.
Yeah.
He reminds us that life is inherently uncertain, and embracing that uncertainty, that's what makes it exciting and rewarding.
So it's about, stepping outside our comfort zones, taking calculated risks, and trusting that we can handle whatever comes our way.
Yeah. There's a certain magic in that uncertainty, right? It allows for unexpected opportunities to come up.
Oh, for sure. If we knew exactly how everything was going to unfold, life would be pretty boring.
Exactly. We can help our clients to see that uncertainty. It's not something to fear. It's just a natural part of growth and progress.
Right.
It's about reframing that fear as excitement, as anticipation for all the incredible things that can happen when we step outside our comfort zone.
I love that. So, okay, let's say a client is ready to move forward. They're excited about the possibilities, but they still have concerns about affordability. What specific solutions does he offer in those situations?
Well, he outlines a variety of options, and it really depends on the client's individual situation. But, he suggests things like borrowing from friends or family, exploring credit card options or financing options, or even applying for a bank loan.
So it's about thinking outside the box and finding solutions that really fit their unique needs and circumstances.
Exactly. And it's important that we present these options as tools and resources, not as pressure tactics. We're empowering them to make informed choices, not coercing them into something they're not comfortable with.
It's a partnership, right?
Yeah.
A collaborative approach where the client feels empowered to take ownership of their decisions.
Absolutely. A lot of times the biggest obstacle isn't actually the money itself.
Yeah.
It's the fear of making the decision.
That makes sense. It's that feeling of being overwhelmed and uncertain.
Yeah.
That can really lead to paralysis.
Absolutely. And ultimately, the decision to move forward, to embrace that possibility over scarcity, that rests with the client.
Right. It's about respecting their journey and giving them that support that they need to take those courageous steps toward their goals.
Yeah, definitely. Our role is really just to hold space for that possibility, to show them the path, but they have to take that first step.
Exactly. So, okay, let's kind of recap here a little bit. We've covered a lot of ground in our deep dive into Coach Ken Gordon's what to say when they say, I can't afford it. We talked about that ingrained scarcity mentality, the power of possibility, and all those practical steps for overcoming those financial objections. What would you say are some of the key takeaways for our listeners today?
Well, I think the biggest one for me is recognizing that statement, I can't afford it. A lot of times it's really just a mask for fear. It's not actually about a lack of resources. It's about understanding that those beliefs about money that we've been carrying around for so long, they can really be a major roadblock on the path to achieving our full potential.
And it's important to remember that those beliefs often come from our childhood experiences. It's not about blame or anything, but it's about becoming aware of those patterns and then consciously choosing to rewrite the narrative.
Yeah, for sure. It's about taking ownership of our relationship with money and realizing that we do have the power to create abundance. It might sound a little woo-woo, but it really is about shifting from that mindset of lack to a mindset of possibility.
And that shift starts with a simple question. How can I make this happen? Right? Instead of focusing on the limitations, we challenge ourselves to find creative solutions, to step outside our comfort zones and embrace the unknown.
And it's also about trusting in our own resourcefulness and resilience, knowing that we have the support to navigate those challenges along the way.
It's about playing the game of life with curiosity, courage, and trust.
Yeah.
And when we approach it with that mindset, the possibilities really are limitless.
Absolutely. So I want to leave our listeners with a question.
Okay.
What could you achieve if you started to see money not as a source of limitation, but as a resource for freedom and fulfillment?
That is such a powerful question. I encourage everyone listening to really take some time to reflect on that.
Mm-hmm.
What dreams or goals have you been putting off because of that little voice in your head saying, I can't afford it?
Yeah.
What if you silenced that voice and replaced it with a bolder statement? Let's figure out how to make it happen. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing those boundaries of possibility. I'm Marcus Harrison.
And I'm Nara Daniels.
Catch you next time.
We hope you enjoyed the deep dive. Subscribe to the podcast for more deep dives as Nara and Marcus traverse the infinite exploration into the mind and soul of you. We'll see you next time on The Dive.